Shalom, shalom. I want to give our honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shalash, Ba'ala Yahweh with the servants. Back at again with another video through the spirit, right? So breaking news, right? Iran strikes back. Iran strikes back, no King's Day, etc. Right? So if you haven't been paying attention, man, right? Israel and Iran is going at it, right? It's a lot going on, man. You got no King's Day coming up, protests all around America, right? It's a lot going on right now, man. So you definitely need to be keeping watch, right? So let's go ahead and get into this thing. So let's start off with the classic precept in Second Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. Because you gotta observe the times that we're living in, man. If you don't know what's going on, man, shame on you. Right? Shame on you if you don't know what's going on. Right? So let's get it. Second Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. Right. The second Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before. Right? So we got to observe the times, right, that the Lord is showing us through the signs. Right? There's different signs that the Lord is displaying throughout the world that we got to understand the times that we're actually living in, right? Which is the end time, right? According to biblical scriptures and prophecy, right? So it says, then shalt thou understand that it's the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made, right? And when it's saying that, it's talking about the visitation of Yahweh Shai, right? Which the world ignorant calls Jesus Christ. He is coming back, right? For his people, right? And when he comes back, right? It's a lot going to be going on. That's the day of the Lord, right? The day of judgment, right? It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, right? So in those times, right, I said the end times, you're going to see earthquakes in diverse places, right? Uproars of the people in the world. And when you read the same language that is speaking in Second Ezra 9 and 3, you see that same language spoken in Matthew chapter 24, right? Mark chapter 13, Luke 21. I want to say, what is Luke 21? Well, for sure, Mark chapter 13 and Matthew 24, right? It talks about the earthquakes in diverse places. It talks about famines, nation against nation, right? It talks about these things, right? So we can go ahead and get into some articles. So if you haven't seen this, right? Which I don't see how you couldn't. You're not watching, right? I'm gonna show. Let's see this right quick, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into it first. Hold on. I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna bring this one out. This first article out first, right? So hold on. So let me get this article right here. It says right here. It says live updates. Israel hit by missiles as Iran retaliates for strikes on nuclear sites. Right. So what happened is, if you haven't noticed, right, Israel, right, sent out attacks on Iran, and what they did was they took out a lot of their high people, generals, right, took them out, right, unalived them, right. So a lot is going on, right. So it says, I mean, it's going crazy. It says, let's get into it. So right now, this is Israel right now, right? This is Israel, and this everything we're going over this for educational purposes, to edify, and to this our thoughts and opinion on this content, right? For educational purposes, right? Fair use, right? Check that out. Man, going crazy. Right? What's going? It's going down over there, right? Dang, dang, they not playing around, yo. That's crazy, right? So again, I'm gonna read the Bible scripture again. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go to Matthew chapter 24, so we can see the same language that's spoken of in Second Esdras, right? Matthew chapter 24, and we're gonna go to the classic. Right? It says, I'm gonna start at verse 6. It says, and ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation. Is the point. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Right. So in Second Esdras 9, right, it says about upwards of the people, right, earthquakes, right. Here we're seeing in Matthew chapter 24 and 7, right, the same language, right, but what it's saying is just worded different. It says, for nation shall rise against nation, right, and kingdom against kingdom. And we're seeing these nations rise against each other, right? Now, the interesting thing about this, right, is this could very well kick off World War III, right? Very well kick off World War III, right? Because we got to understand, right? Israel has his allies, right? America, right, and so forth and so forth. And if you didn't know, Israel is also a part of the Mediterranean dialogue, right? Let me pull that up. I had it. Let me see. Let me go to it. So yeah, this is the Mediterranean dialogue, right? It says, so these are the allies of Israel right here. It says the Mediterranean dialogue was launched in December 1994 as a cooperative forum between NATO and several Mediterranean countries, including Algeria, Egypt, Israel, Jordan, Mauritania, Morocco, and Tunisia, right? Tunisia, right? So these are the allies of Israel, right? And it's also saying that it's a cooperative forum between NATO as well. So very well NATO could get involved, right? And if NATO get involved, right, what do we have here? We have World War III, right? We have World War III. So we very well could be at the brink of World War III, right? We just got to see how it goes, right? It says its primary goal is to foster good relations, mutual understanding, and confidence among participating countries and NATO allies, thereby contributing to regional security and stability. So it says regional security and stability. So what happens when Israel no longer seems secure and they might need help? Who are they gonna call on? NATO, right? And this shows you, right? Look at this. You got again Algeria, Egypt, Israel, Jordan, Mauritania, Morocco, and Tunisia, right? Or whatever that word is, right? So these are the members of the Mediterranean dialogue, right? So let's go to members of NATO, right? Members of NATO, right? Members of NATO. Now, boom, we got. I'm not gonna go through this whole list, but you see this list, right? You see this list. These are all the members of NATO, right? Got Hungary in there, Greece, Germany, Romania, Slovakia, Turkey, Sweden, Spain, so forth and so forth, right? And one of those people is the United States, right? So we're at the brink of all these people getting involved in war, right? So what happens, right? What happens on the other side? Because we talking about the allies of Israel, right? We're talking about Israel allies, right? Let's go to the other side, right? You got to look at both sides of the forum. right? All right, here we go. Right, so and this crazy right here says Iran's allies, Lebanon, right, Hezbollah, and we know, right, that from different parts that Israel been going at it with Lebanon as well, right? But it says Russia, right? It says military partnership. So Russia and Iran have a military partnership, right? You have Turkey, China, right? Who else? There's Turkey and China. So these are the allies of Iran. So if all these people, all these different nations get involved in this thing that's going on, right? That's what you have World War III. Right? It says, let's go to it. It says, this, and I'm gonna read this. It says, read this. It says, facing the most devastating attack since its 1980s war with Iraq, Iran has described the still ongoing Israeli assault as a declaration of war, the harshest language yet in a decades-long rivalry now trending toward full-scale conflict. So they're saying that this could be a full-scale conflict. They're at war right now, right? So it's just a matter of time, right, before the allies, right, start hopping into this thing, right? And that goes back to what? Matthew 24 and 7, right? For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, right? Let's get another precept. Get another precept. Right. Revelation. It says, this Revelation 11 and 14, it says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Right? That third woe is talking about World War III, right? Because World War II done happened. World War II happened, right? But it says the third woe, right? Third war, right? Cometh quickly, right? It's coming quickly, man. So we're not saying that it's going to happen right this instant, but this very well, these things that's going on, this conflict, right, that they're saying is full-scale conflict, could very well kick off World War III, right? Well, all these different nations, as in the Mediterranean dialogue, right, the NATO, the different people in NATO and different members of NATO, right, and also Iran's allies hop into this thing, right, and things get kind of crazy, right? So let's go back to where we was, right? So let's go back to this. Let's see if let's go to this article. Right. So they're not really hold on. So on the sidebar, there's a side tab right here that's been keeping track of everything that's been going on. Then it just I wanted to it done passed by, but it was a little tab on there, and it was showing how many people that was affected by it, right? And I wonder if I can kind of check this out. Check this out, man. The United States are already hopping into this thing. This 10 minutes ago. It just came out 10 minutes ago. Right? It says just in. U.S. military is helping intercept missiles that Iran fired in retaliation at Israel. U.S. official says. right? So we already got the United States hopping into this thing, right? So it's kind of this thing is heating up, right? This thing is heating up, right? And this is the tab I was talking about. Y'all can see this right here. It says U.S. is helping intercept Iran's missiles. Now this is a timeline. This is a timeline of what's going on, right? It says 47 minutes ago, Iranian missiles and Israeli intercept rockets light up the night sky, right? It says 38 minutes ago, 5 wounded in Israel by Iranian attack. 36 minutes ago, an explosion in Tel Aviv, right? And so it's like this thing is kicking off. So you got to be watching in these times. You got to be observing what's going on, man. You can't be sitting here just lollygagging, man. You worried about you focus on the BET Awards, right? You worried about the different stars that showed up, the ones that didn't show up, right? You worried about the folly instead of the important things, right? The things that Lord told us to watch for, the different prophecies that will kick off, the different signs that Lord will show you that we living in the end times, right? So, and then that goes also to, I want to get this in 2nd Ezra chapter 15, right? Where it talks about these kind of things going down, right? With these different nations, right? In that land. Let's get it. About the dragons of Arabia, right? It says, I'm gonna start at verse. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 29. It says, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, right? And a multitude of them shall be carried as the wind up upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. So it says the dragons of Arabia said many chariots, right? In those chariots, those tanks, those planes, right? Many chariots kicking off. Those drones, right? It says also the Carmenians, right? And these people are the Ishmael, Elam, them, right? This is talking about, right? Also the Carmenians, right? And Carmenia is actually ancient Iran, right? If you didn't know that, right? Let's go to that real fast, right? It says right here. It says Carmenia was a historical region in Iran that was part of various Iranian empires from the 6th century BC to the 7th century AD, right? So Carmenia, Iran, ate them the same people, right? So when we see this right here, right, and if you can see this image, right, it's showing you, if y'all, it's probably not showing real well, but there you have it, right? It says the ancient Persian Empire. Let's go back to it. So when we go into learn about Carmenia, right? Carmenia is where Iran is, right? And we're seeing these things going on, prophecy kicking off, man. You cannot make this up, right? The Bible is holding true to what it says gonna go down, right? So check that out. It says also the Carmenians raging in wrath shall go forth as wild boars of the wood. With great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. Right? So what's going to go down? Right? Did not the scripture say that Ishmael is a wild man, and his hand shall be against every man? Right? So that's him waking up into his biblical mentality, that spirit that Lord put on his people, right? Ishmael and his people to be wild people, right? Lord is stirring that spirit up, right? That's why you see in verse 30, it says also the Carmenians raging in wrath. That's Ishmael getting his spirit. They're gonna be raging. It's gonna be going down, right? So I kind of want to just bring out that scripture, right? Because I could keep going there, but I'm really not, because I really just wanted to kind of show y'all that scripture and show y'all how this relates to Bible prophecy, right? Because it's other stuff that I want to touch on, right? I didn't want to get too in depth with it, because I did want to continue these articles, right? But I just want y'all to see, man, this Bible is holding true to everything that it says is gonna happen, right? So it says, now this is right here. This says what to know. Oh, lock it. Hold on. They're trying to stop me. Shalom. So let's go back. All right. Share screen. So it says this is what to know. So if you don't, what the heck? Okay, yeah, this is what to know. So if you don't know what's been going on, this is what you need to know. So they're gonna fast track you to what's going on if you haven't been paying attention, right? It says Israel struck nuclear sites and killed top leaders, unalive top leaders. Nuclear enrichment sites in the refinery were hit, unaliving leading nuclear scientists. Iran's ballistic missile arsenal was also targeted, and 3 of the nation's top military leaders were unalive, right? And all this again is for education purposes. These are our thoughts and opinions on this content, fair use, right? So it says attack comes after weeks of escalating tensions. Iran said on Thursday it would activate a 3rd nuclear enrichment facility shortly after a UN watchdog censored Iran for failing to comply with non-proliferation obligations. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu government survived an attempt to dissolve Israel's parliament Thursday, in most serious challenge to his government since the October 7th attack, right? So it says what attention leaders were saying. Iran Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei vowed revenge, saying Iran would not allow Israel to escape safely from this great crime they committed. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said his military planned for months to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival, right? So they feel like their survival is at stake. They feel like this is it for them. So what that means, when a man feel like his survival at stake, that his life on line, and he go all out. So they very well could go all out, man. They very well could go all out. Right? So it says to roll back the Iranian threat. Or it says U.S. President Donald Trump urged Iran to make a deal before it's too late. Right? So you kind of see, right, different this is the kind of map. It says Tabriz, explosions near refinery airport. Right, it says 2 new updates. Whoa, hold up. It's updates coming in like back to back. Right, so let's look at the two new updates. 2 new updates. Man. I guess the 2 new updates was what we already mentioned about Israel. I mean, not Israel, but U.S. helping Israel intercept Iran's missiles. So we don't already cover that, right? So now we kind of touched on this, right? Now let's go to the second thing that let's go to the second thing that we was talking about, right? Right, and the second thing we talk about is this right here. Right, so let's go down to it. It says, here's what to expect at the Army's 250th anniversary parade on Trump's B-Day. right? So his B-Day is June 14th, right? June 14th. So it says Washington, D.C. is preparing for June 14th military parade to honor the 250th birthday of the Army and the 79th B-Day of Trump, right? So it's kind of going, it's a significant thing I want to get at, right? So on this very day that they're planning to do this, there are some people that have these protesters that's protesting, and it's called No King's Day, right? So let's look it up. Let's go into that, right? Now it's very interesting that I don't get into that. I'm gonna leave that at that, But it's very interesting that that every nation, right? It's not every nation, but there's the average. When they total up and they sum it up, the average nation goes on for about 250 years. That's something to keep in mind, though. But it says, check this out right quick. This is going to the No King's Day thing, right? Now it says millions, and this is also touching on Second Esdras 15. Well, it's Upwards of the People, right? That's one, the Upwards of the People. But it's also another one, because on these different protests that's been going down, right? They've been attacking police cars, throwing bricks, right? They've been going crazy. As I was setting cars on fire, doing all kind of they going crazy, right? Dozens were arrested in New York, right? They had something going on in Beaufort, Georgia, right? Where they were stepping on cop cars in Beaufort, Georgia. That's not far from Atlanta, right? You already heard about what was going on in LA, right? They already touched on that. So before I'm gonna keep reading and then I'm gonna bring out this precept. I'm gonna go to this article. It says millions of protesters are expected at No King's rallies nationwide as President Trump's military parade takes place on his 79th B-Day. As a military parade rolls through Washington, D.C. on Saturday, President Donald Trump's B-Day, millions of Americans are expected to protest in what organizers predict to be the strongest display of opposition to Trump's administration since he took office in January. So they say it's going to be the strongest opposition, right? It says more than 1,900 protests across all 50 states are planned through the No Kings movement, which organizers say seek to reject authoritarianism, billionaire first politics, and the militarization of our democracy. The mobilization is a direct response to Trump's military parade in celebration of the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army, which coincides with his 79th B-Day. In recent days, all eyes have been on Los Angeles, where Trump has deployed the National Guard and Marines in response to massive protests decrying immigration sweeps. An extraordinary move protest organizers say he has only served to mobilize participants to speak out against authoritarianism. Right, so it's getting heated up. Check this out. Right, it says demonstrators have since been protesting controversial raids and deportations in cities across the nation, including New York, Seattle, Chicago, Austin, Las Vegas, and Washington, D.C. Right? So it's been a lot going on, right? And again, what the Bible said, there shall be upwards of the people. Right? So it's going down. Man, it's going down. Right? It's crazy. And it's so crazy, right? Not only is it upwards in America, right? We're going to get that very next. It says Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has suggested the order used to federalize the National Guard to Los Angeles could make way for a similar response to protests in other states. And Texas Governor Greg Abbott deployed the state's National Guard this week ahead of planned protests, including a No Kings event in San Antonio on Saturday. Right? So these states are beefing up security because they're saying the effects, the things that happen, right, in those other what happened in Las Vegas, they saying, well, that could trickle off to the rest of these states, right? So now they beefing up security, right? So man, it's getting serious out here, right? Check this out. In Missouri, Governor Mike Kehoe activated his state's National Guard on Thursday as a precautionary measure in reaction to recent instances of civil unrest across the country. So you got civil unrest, you got uproars going on, you got Iran and Israel going at it. It's a lot going on. And you got to ask yourself, man, what manner of person ought you be? What type of mindset? What should you be worried about? What should you be focusing on? What should you be meditating on when you see all these things going on? Are you still going to waste your time? Are you still going to procrastinate? Are you still going to be a part of this world instead of separating yourself and being holy and repenting and changing your mind in the way that you live? Right? What you going to do? Now is the time to seek the Lord. You should already been seeking the Lord, but now is the time. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. While you got the opportunity. While you got the chance. Because you will not always have an opportunity to seek the Lord. Because we do know it's going to be a famine of word that's coming. Amos 11:8, right? And other precepts. It's going to be a famine of the word. So you better get this while you can. Because you don't know. It very well could slow down. It could. It could. But how things kicking off, you just don't know. You just don't know. Right? So, now, as you have all these different protests, now I'm gonna show y'all that it's not just in the protests in America too. I'm gonna show y'all that, and then I'm gonna go into like, see these governors, right? These governors, even Trump, he said it himself. He said, man, if people to spit at you, man, hey, these officers got the right to do whatever they want to do, right? Right, here it is. Now, this is in Iran. Now, again, this is fair use, educational purposes. This is our thoughts and opinions on this content, right? So the scripture says it's going to be uproars of the people. So you got uproars going on in America, aka Babylon, and you got uproars in Iran. And I'm pretty sure this is not the only places, right? But I'm just pointing out two things right here, right? Where you see it's uproars of the people. This thing is actually happening, right? So let's play this video. So you see, man, there's a lot of them out there. You say they demand revenge for the martyrs, right? And the scientists who were unalive. We won't be deceived by America's promises. So he's saying, hey man, they already saying, man, so to hell with what America is talking about. That's correct, man. Man, it's telling you, man. Hey, man, these nations, they getting stirred up, man. And listen what it says, we won't be deceived, right? So America has promised them something, right? They said we're not going to be deceived. We see America's hand behind this crime. Check that out. Man, you can't make this up, right? It says hundreds gather in Iranian capital to protest Israeli strikes, calling for retaliation, right? Now, and
वो मेरे नजरों के सब सामने हुआ था मेरे
all right, let me stop that. Now that draws me to go to this precept, right? This precept right here in Habakkuk, right? Chapter 2. Because you know they just said they blaming America for the crime. They saying America is deceitful, right? So let's go to just gonna go straight to the point, right? It's Habakkuk 2 and 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with the clay. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them. So son, it's going to come a time where these nations, they're going to come up against America. And it's not just going to be Iran, it's going to be others, right? But we're seeing right now that Iran is saying to hell with America because they are deceiving, they are behind these crimes. That's what Iran is saying, right? So now let's go back. Now let's go to the right. So back now we're going back to the protest that's going on in America, right? So just wanted to point that out, you know what I'm saying, the uproars of the people, and kind of go just touch on that real briefly, right? So I want to get a map. It was a map. I don't know if I can pull it up. That's not what I was trying to do, but okay. All right, there we go. All right. Now, I don't know if they're gonna pull up. If they're gonna let me see the map, show the map. Let me see. All right, we're gonna look it up, right? Cause we already know that they say millions. Let's look this up. Map. Okay. All right, let's see. All right, here we go. So this is a map right here, right? Here we go. So y'all can see this right quick. Right? This is a map of the No Kings protest. So it's gonna be all over. And this little region right here, where my mouse is, right? Is one here? This one or two? No, that's Charlotte. That's Charlotte right there. That's Charlotte. But this region right here is Atlanta, right? For those people that's in the Atlanta region, you know what I'm saying? Just keep your eye open because they supposed to be, you know, for especially Atlanta, a lot of camps, you know what I'm saying, based out of Atlanta. So just keep your eyes peeled, man. You're supposed to be going down, and you know, a lot of brothers that go out on the Shabbat tomorrow, right? Well, tonight at sundown, but they chiefly go out tomorrow, right? Which will be the 14th, right? And spread the gospel. So keep your eyes peeled, right? Chicago, someplace in Washington, right? Someplace in California, Texas, right? It's all over, right? So we seeing this is the map, right? Now I'm gonna show y'all because a lot of these states, they just not finna take what happened in Los Angeles, right? What happened in New York. They not just gonna take that, right? Let's go back to this. Right. Let's see. Nah, that ain't it. So now let's go with these governors saying. So now, right, we're gonna go to what the governor of Florida said. We're gonna show you, like, don't think these states gonna sit here and take this. This stuff is getting serious out here. Watch this. Watch this. Where we at? Let me get that. Pull up this article. Let me see. Okay, there we go. Right here. Let's go to it. Now, I wanted to get and I can see if they have it. They might show the video or they might not. Right. Fair use. This are our thoughts and opinions on this content, educational purposes. This is what Ron DeSantis said, right? The governor of Florida. He says, Ron DeSantis says Floridians have the right to hit protesters with cars. Check, bro. Bro, it's getting real out here. Don't think this is a light thing. Right? Here you go. This is the video. All praise Most High, they got a video. This is what he said. Right, hold on. Let's see. Let's get it.
Supply is basically forced medication. Yes, use fluoride for your teeth. That's fine. But forcing it into the water supply is basically forced medication on people. They don't have a choice. You're taking that away from them.
Wait, hold on. Let's see. He gonna say it. Oh no, this ain't no. I don't want to see that. This is what I want to see right here.
And we also have a policy that if you're driving on one of those,
again, this is for fair use. Let's make sure that let me get all these ads out of here. Anyways, I'm gonna let that one sit down. Right. So this is our thoughts and opinions on this content. Fair use. Fair use. But this is what the governor of Florida said, right, about the No King's Day thing.
those streets, and a mob comes and surrounds your vehicle and threatens you, you have a right to flee for your safety. And so if you drive off and you hit one of these people, that's their fault for impinging on you. You don't have to sit there and just be a sitting duck and let the mob grab you out of your car and drag you through the streets. You have a right to defend yourself in Florida.
Wow. Bro, you cannot make this stuff up, man. Things is really kicking off. He just said you have the green light. If a mob of people in front of your car, the governor of Florida said you have the right to take off on them. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Boom. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. But there's more, right? There's more. There's also a governor of. Well, hold on. Let's read this article first. Then we're gonna go to what a sheriff said in Florida as well. Florida not playing around, right? With these people, especially Jake, man, that's out there that's trying to I don't know what you got going on, but you want to be out there protesting when you need to be out. You need to be in your Bible, coming back to the Most High, right? You focusing on the wrong thing, right? Better stay behind home. Because they're not playing around. Right, so let's read this. Let's read this article, and I kind of want to show y'all that it just ain't Florida now. It says a court in 2017 found that driving a car into a protest was not an act of self-defense, as James Alex Fields Jr. was found guilty of that word, the N-word, for hitting and unaliving civil rights activist Heather Heyer, a counter protester at the Unite Right rally in 2017. Now the governor of Florida is telling people they have a right to hit protesters with their car if they feel attacked. DeSantis is not the only governor calling for more aggressive tactics against protesters, as Greg Abbott has called the National Guard to quell demonstrations in Texas. So, man, these people, they not, bro, man. Let's just keep going. It says the Florida governor was speaking. Hold on, let me see. It says the Florida governor was speaking with host Dave Rubin about the ongoing protests in Los Angeles against ICE raids and the protests against the Trump administration planned for this weekend. No King's Day. Rubin asked DeSantis what his policies would be if protesters take over a street without a permit. DeSantis told Rubin that people in their cars have the right to hit protesters because otherwise they might become a sitting duck who the mob could drag out of their car. Right? So it's getting heated up, man. It's getting heated up out here, man. Right? You got to be watching. Right? And I want to see what, man, I just, I mean, let's just go to this precept in Isaiah 19, right? Because this is the Lord's doing, right? All this stuff that's going on and why the, bruh, check this out, man. Right? It says, come on now. Get out here. Right? It says, all right, so this is the book of Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 1. Right? I'm gonna start at verse I'm gonna jump to 14. It says, the Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err every word thereof, as a drunken man staggered in his vomit. Right? So now at this point in time, the Lord, right, is having America stumble. Right? It's stumbling, it's drunk, it's chaos, right? It's chaos going on. Right? You got the people getting mad by ICE, right? And who implemented ICE? The leaders of Egypt, America, the leaders of America. They implemented this ICE raid, these ICE raids, right? All these different things that's going on. Why there's uproars of the people, why people are protesting, why people are rebelling, right? That's the Lord put that spirit on Babylon, that perverse spirit. He's getting Babylon drunk. And now they erring in every work, right? Let's get another precept about that's not, I don't know why they do that. All right, let's get this precept in all right, Matthew 12 and 26. Right here, this is what I want. Matthew 12 and 26. It says, if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? So right now you got the Lord dividing Satan's this kingdom. So how long will Babylon the Great stand? It's at its 250-year mark. How long? Right? Not saying it's gonna be. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just saying it's how long. You know, we don't know when, right? But we see the signs of what's going on, right? So let's go to what this sheriff said in Florida, right? It's going down out here. All right, check this out. Now I don't know if they gonna play the video. If they don't play the video, I'll pull it up. But I hope so. Oh man. Right. It says a sheriff in Florida threatened his community on Thursday, stating that if any protesters get violent or break the law, they will be unalive. We will unalive you, graveyard unalive. Like you see what this. Y'all see this. Look at this. Just read yourself. Right? You gotta talk like that. Right? Said Brevard County Sheriff Wayne Ivey during an anti-riot press conference alongside Florida Attorney General James Euthymere. No Kings protests have been planned across the country for June 14th, coinciding with a military parade scheduled in Washington to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army. It's also Trump's birthday, right? It says, peaceful protests are part of our democracy, said Ivey. The key word in that is peaceful. Right. Brevard County is located in eastern coast of Central Florida and is 10th most populated county in the state, according to census data. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be. I want to read it what he says, but I'd rather him tell you himself. Right. I'd rather. So I'm gonna see if I put this up. Right. Sheriff Wayne Ivey. There we go. This man is trending, man. So let's let this again. These are our thoughts and opinions, educated purpose, fair use. Right, fair use. I want to see. I don't know how long this one is. All right, this one. I'm gonna get this short.
If you resist lawful orders, you're
fair use. Our thoughts and opinions on this content, educational purposes.
going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead.
Bro, they not, bro, they is not playing, bro. They is not playing, bro. This is, bro, you can't make this up, man. You cannot make this up. So I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna run that back, right? This, bro. Hey, so-called Black Hispanic American, y'all better stay out behind home. They telling you right now, they're not playing it. They not playing it. I'm running back again. Yeah, what he said.
The arrest, you're going to go to jail tired because we are going to run you down. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play. This has got to stop. If you...
So there you have it, man. Right? There you have it. You got upwards of the people, man. You got upwards of the people. You got Satan's kingdom divided against itself. You got nation. You have Iran and Israel going at it, right? Man, I just say again, man, just make sure you keep watching these times, man. Keep watch, man. Keep watch. Man, it's really going down, man. And if you out there, man, let me get a closing precept, man. If you out there, man, don't be out there. Don't think about being out there. Well, if you ain't out there teaching the gospel, don't be out there. You know what I'm saying? If you out there trying to protest, man, sit down somewhere, man. Sit down somewhere. Right. Luke 21:36, right? Watch ye therefore and pray always that ye may be counted. It says watch. Watch. Key word, watch. Keep watching what's going on, man. It's a lot of prophecies that's being fulfilled, a lot of prophecies that's kicking off, man. Make sure that you're watching these times. Make sure that you're watching. Make sure that you're praying, right? Make sure you fasting. Make sure you repenting. Make sure you keeping these commandments. Make sure you're being obedient, right? Make sure you're being diligent. Make sure you're being sincere. Make sure you walk in integrity, right? It's getting real out here, man. And again, it's things to slow down, right? Things to slow down, right? But here's the news, man. Right? There's a lot going on, man. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. All right. So Lord willing, that was edifying through the Spirit. Want to give our honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, his brother Yahweh with the servants. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Kwame Shalom.